Chapter 9, The Atmosphere. Terms to learn. Insolation. Incoming solar energy intercepted by the Earth. Global warming. A general increase in the temperature of the world due to increase in the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Planetary winds. The winds which blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. Monsoon. The seasonal winds blowing in India and some other parts of the world from sea to land in summer and from land to sea in winter. Windward side. The side of the mountain facing the rain bearing winds which give heavy rainfall to this side. You know that the blanket of air surrounding the earth is known as the atmosphere. The atmosphere extends more than 1,000 kilometers above the earth's surface. It is held in place by the earth's force of gravity. All living beings on this earth depend on the atmosphere for their survival. It provides the air we breathe and protects us from the harmful effects of the sun's rays. Without this blanket of protection, the earth would have been extremely hot during the day and freezing cold during the night. So it is the atmosphere that has made the temperature of the earth livable. Composition of atmosphere. The air we take in while breathing is actually a mixture of many gases. Nitrogen makes up about 78% and oxygen about 21% of the total value of the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon, and hydrogen are found in lesser quantities. Apart from these gases, tiny dust particles are also present in the air. Nitrogen is the most plentiful gas in the atmosphere. Plants need nitrogen for their survival. They cannot take nitrogen directly from the air. Bacteria that live in the soil and roots of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change its form so that plants can use it. Oxygen is the second most plentiful gas in the air. Humans and animals take oxygen from the air as they breathe. Green plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis. In this way, oxygen content in the air remains constant. If we cut trees, then this balance is disturbed. Carbon dioxide is another important gas. Green plants use carbon dioxide to make their own food and release oxygen. Humans or animals release carbon dioxide. The amount of carbon dioxide released by humans or animals seems to be equal to the amount used by plants, which make a perfect balance. However, the balance is disturbed by burning of fuels such as coal and oil. They add a large quantity of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year. As a result, the increased volume of carbon dioxide is affecting the Earth's weather and climate. Air circulation. When air is heated, it expands, becomes lighter, and goes up. Cold air is comparatively dense and heavy. That is why it tends to shrink down. When hot air rises, cold air from surrounding area rushes there to fill in the gap. That is how air circulation takes place. Structure of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is divided into five vertical layers starting from the Earth's surface. These are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. Troposphere. It is the lowest layer of the atmosphere which extends up to the height of 18 km at the equator and 8 km near the poles. This layer is characterized by constant vertical decrease in temperature at an average rate of 0.6 degrees Celsius for every 100-meter ascent. Almost all the weather phenomena like rainfall, fog, and hailstorm occur in this layer. Stratosphere. It lies above troposphere. It extends up to a height of about 50 km. This layer is almost free from clouds and associated weather phenomena, making conditions most ideal for flying aeroplanes. It contains ozone layer which absorbs solar ultraviolet rays and protect life on Earth. Mesosphere. It lies above the stratosphere. It extends up to the height of about 80 km. Meteoroids burn up in this layer on entering from the space. Thermosphere. It comes immediately above mesosphere. It extends up to the height of about 400 km. Ionosphere is a part of this layer. This layer helps in radio transmission. In fact, radio waves transmitted from the earth are reflected back to the earth by this layer. Exosphere. It is the uppermost layer of the atmosphere. It extends up to the height of about 1600 km. In this layer, the density of air is very low. Light gases like helium and hydrogen float into the space from here. Weather and climate. The term weather means the state of the atmosphere at a particular place at a particular time. Weather can change dramatically from day to day. We usually get informed about the weather from weather reports and forecasts published in the newspapers or broadcast over radio or television. Weather forecasts are particularly helpful as they warn up in advance about approaching storms and heavy rains. This enables us to take precautions. Climate is the average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time. The elements of weather and climate are temperature, air pressure, winds, humidity, cloud cover, and rainfall. Temperature. The temperature you feel every day is the temperature of the atmosphere. The degree of hotness or coldness of the air is known as temperature. The temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between day and night but also from season to season. Summers are hotter than winters. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature is insolation. Insolation is the incoming solar energy intercepted by the Earth. The Earth receives only 1 in 2 lakh parts of the Sun energy. The amount of insolation decreases from the equator towards the pole. Therefore, the temperature decreases in the same manner. It is because of this fact that the poles are covered with snow. The standard unit of measuring temperature is degree Celsius. It was invented by Anders Celsius. On the Celsius scale, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and boils at 100 degrees Celsius. It is measured by thermometer. Greenhouse effect and global warming. Carbon dioxide released in atmosphere creates a greenhouse effect by trapping the heat radiated from the earth. It is therefore called a greenhouse gas, and without it the earth would have been too cold to live in. However, when its level in the atmosphere increases due to factory smoke or car fumes, the heat retained increases the temperature of the earth. This is called global warming. It is feared the continued global warming may cause much of the polar ice to melt. If that happens, the water level of the ocean will rise and many islands and coastal areas will be submerged. There may be drastic changes in the climate of a place leading to extinction of some plants and animals in long. Air pressure. You know that air has weight and it exerts pressure. The air above us presses us with great force on our bodies. However, we don't even feel it. This is because the air presses us from all directions and our body exerts a counter pressure. Air pressure is defined as the pressure exerted by the weight of air on the Earth's surface. As we go up the layers of atmosphere, the pressure falls rapidly. Air pressure is highest at sea level and decreases with height. If you climb a very high mountain, you may feel difficulty in breathing due to low pressure of air, and that is why mountaineers sometimes have to use artificial oxygen while climbing the very high mountains. On the moon, there is no air and hence no air pressure. Astronauts have to wear special protective space suits filled with air when they go to the moon. If they did not wear these spacesuits, the counter pressure exerted by the body of the astronauts would make the blood vessels burst. The astronauts would bleed. Horizontally, the distribution of air pressure is influenced by temperature of air at a given place. In areas where temperature is high, the air gets heated and rises. This creates a low pressure area. Low pressure is associated with cloudy sky and wet weather. In areas having lower temperature, the air is cold. It is therefore heavy. Heavy air sinks and creates a high pressure area. High pressure is associated with clear and sunny sky. The air pressure is measured in barometer in millibars. The air always moves from high pressure to low pressure areas. Wind. The movement of air from high pressure area to low pressure area is called wind. Wind may blow gently or with great speed. Strong wind blowing at a very high speed is called storm. Such wind can cause a lot of damage. It can uproot trees and damage houses. At times, wind can be so strong that it is difficult to walk against it. A wind is named after the direction from which it blows. The wind blowing from the west is called westerly. Wind wave shows the direction of wind. Anemometer shows the wind speed. Types of winds. Permanent winds. The trade winds, westerlies, and polar winds are the permanent winds. These winds blow constantly throughout the year in a particular direction. They are also called planetary winds. Trade wind blows from the subtropical high pressure belts to the equatorial low pressure belts. They blow from the northeast in the northern hemisphere and from the southeast in the southern hemisphere. Westerlies blow from subtropical high pressure belts to the subpolar low pressure belts. They blow from southwest in the northern hemisphere and from northwest in the southern hemisphere. Polar winds blow from the polar high pressure belts to the subpolar low pressure belts. They blow from northeast in the northern hemisphere and from southeast in the southern hemisphere. Seasonal winds. These winds change their direction in different seasons. For example, monsoons in India. The monsoon wind in India blow from southwest in the summer season and from northeast in the winter season due to variation in the temperature during summer and winter on the land masses and surrounding seas. Land gets heated faster than the sea surface during summer, so the air pressure on land is lower than the sea. Hence the winds blow from sea to land. These winds bring rain to most part of the subcontinent. During winter, the land cools faster than the sea, so the pressure on land is higher than the sea. Hence the winds blow from land to sea. Local winds. These blows only during a particular period of day or year in a small area. For example, land and sea breeze. Land breeze blows during the night from land to sea near the sea coast, while sea breeze blows during the day from sea to land near the sea coast. It is because during the night the temperature on the sea surface is higher than the land, and during the day the temperature on the land surface is higher than the sea. You have already learned that high pressure results in low air pressure and low temperature results in high air pressure. The cause of monsoon winds and the land and sea breezes is the same. Example, the land absorbs heat faster than the water and loses heat faster than the water. Land and sea breezes are also called periodical winds. You may recall that hot and dry wind of northern plains of India blowing during summer called Lu is an example of local winds. Variable winds. These winds blow irregularly for a short duration. They keep on changing their direction. Cyclones and anticyclones are such winds. In case of cyclone, the winds blow from outside towards a low pressure center in a circular direction. The cyclones are often associated with heavy rain. They may cause loss to life and property. In case of any anticyclone, there is high pressure inside and low pressure outside. So the wind blow from inside towards the outside. They are associated with clear weather. Orissa, located on the eastern seacoast of India, is prone to cyclones that originate in the Bay of Bengal. A severe cyclone hit the state in October 1999. It devastated large portions of the state. The damage caused were mainly due to the three factors: wind velocity, rain, and tidal surge. The wind blew up 260 km per hour. It uprooted trees and damaged the kacha houses. Rooftops of several industrial sheds and other houses were also blown away. Power lines and telecom lines snapped completely. Heavy rain occurred, which led to flooding in the major rivers of Orissa. The cyclonic winds caused tidal waves and brought massive destruction to the coastal areas. The 7 to 10 meter high tidal waves caused massive damage to the standing paddy crops. Moisture. When water evaporates from land and different water bodies due to heat, it changes into water vapor. Moisture in the air at any time is known as humidity. When the air is full of water vapor, we call it a humid day. On a humid day, clothes take longer time to dry and sweat from our body does not evaporate easily, making us feel very uncomfortable. When the water vapor rises, it starts cooling. The water vapor condenses causes formation of droplets of water. Clouds are just masses of such water droplets. When these droplets of water become too heavy to float in air, they come down as precipitation. Rain. Precipitation that comes down to the earth in the liquid form is called rain, but when it comes down in solid form, it is called hailstorm or snowfall. Most of the groundwater comes from rainwater. Rainfall is measured by rain gauge in millimeter or centimeter. Rainfall is very important for the survival of plants and animals. It brings fresh water to the earth's surface. If rainfall is less, water scarcity and drought occur. On the other hand, if it is more, then flood take place. On the basis of mechanism, there are three types of rainfall: the conventional rainfall, the orographic rainfall, and the cyclonic rainfall. Conventional rainfall. This rainfall caused by the warm moisture rising up in the atmosphere. It produces conventional air currents. In the upper part of the atmosphere, it cools down and condensation takes place and it rains heavily accompanied by lightning and thunder. Since the rainfall is caused by the rising conventional currents, it is called conventional rainfall. This type of rain is common in the equatorial region where temperature is high all the year around. Orographic rainfall. This type of rainfall is caused by the warm moist air rising up and striking against the mountains. It is also called relief rain. These winds give heavy rainfall to the windward side of the mountains, while the opposite side of the mountain receives very low rainfall and is called the rain shadow area or leeward side. Cyclonic rainfall. This type of rain is also called frontal rain. With the cyclone, warm air and cold air from opposite direction often meet. Warm air being lighter rises over the cold heavier air. As the warm air rises above the cold air, it cools, condenses and causes rain. This type of rain is common in the subpolar low pressure belts. Here cyclones occur when the warm westerlies are forced to rise over the cold polar winds. Lesson at a glance. The air is a mixture of many gases as nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide and other gases as well as dust particles. The atmosphere is divided into five vertical layers starting from the Earth's surface. Example: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Weather is the state of the atmosphere at a particular place at a particular time, while climate is the average weather condition of a place for a longer period of time. An important factor that influences the distribution of temperature in insolation, example, incoming solar energy intercepted by the earth. When the level of carbon dioxide increases in the atmosphere, it increases the temperature of the earth. This is called global warming. The wind blows from high pressure areas to low pressure areas.